G'day, legends. Welcome to the Celtic Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Jared, and joining me are Shane and Ian. How are you going, Shane?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Enjoying the windy weather that we've had here all of a sudden. It was a lovely bit of weather over the weekend, up until probably mid yesterday when the wind rolled in, and now I'm feeling the chill again.
It's bloody fresh. I was just talking to Ian off air before you jumped on. I look like what was it, Ian? A bass player from the 80s or something like that? Is that what you said?
I did, yeah, with the fingerless gloves.
Got the old fingerless gloves are out. Here we go. Looking like a friggin' weirdo, but it is what it is. Gotta stay warm.
Or Madonna Sucker 1983 or something, 84.
Just get me some cone, bikini tops and stuff, and we're laughing. There you go. Anyway, it's a weird odd start to the pod, but anyway, you get that sometimes.
There's a thing like I know obviously you want to be like, what's the point of having fingerless gloves?
Phone.
It's kind of halfway, yeah.
I can't comment, Ian, in the first 5 minutes.
Oh. Surely it's to,
Fine, it's so
use
you
your
can
phone.
pick your nose. That's what it's for. There you go.
I mean, you can do that with gloves that aren't fingerless as well. It's just going to hang around a fair bit, that's all. I'm not talking from experience. Please don't judge me.
Cool. No worries, Shane.
Awkward.
I was like, is Ian about to say something?
I was just watching that tumbleweed roll past.
Oh, hang on. At least let me get settled a bit in before you start throwing barbs my way like that.
Oh, brilliant. No, good. It's good to be back on. Episode name, here we go again. Because, it's that time. Season started. I didn't actually realise it until yesterday that, it was actually the first weekend of the season it happened. I was like, huh? What's going on here? So, just for a laugh already, Rangers have already dropped some points. Like, great start. So, what's that for Derek McInnes? Like, one win in his last 8 or 9 home games now, and that was against a nine-man Hibs. There you go. So he's off to the races over at Ibrox, and then Hearts lose their opening game as well. So suffering your jocks, and we're playing tonight. So got to ask you boys, who's unfurling the flag? I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything, Ian?
Nothing at all, no. As is the rigor, they just seem to keep us in the dark. No clue.
You seen anything, Shane?
No, I haven't seen it, but probably the most suitable people to unfurl will be the board, right? The board members.
Yeah.
I was going to say it'll probably be Martin. Let's be honest.
Probably, yeah.
That's what they'll go for, just to try and, keep the Wolves at bay or whatever, in their opinion. But to all of us, they think we're the Wolves at bay, but we think they're a bunch of lepers and should be run out of the club. So there you go. It's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out, but over the course of the season, a couple of players looking good. There's another Aussie that looks like Timu Erling Haaland up at Dundee United in LA Rose. Is that Lachlan Rose, is it? Yep. So you got him going up there just doing his thing. So, yeah, it's one to keep an eye on for us Aussies. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the course of the season. Any particular players at any other clubs you guys are keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I like the look of Mulligan at Hibs. I liked the look of him when he was at Dundee. I think he's the player we should have signed from Dundee rather than McCowan. So he seems to be doing all right. He did it at Hibs last season anyway. I think he could be a really good sort of succession sort of plan in terms of a midfielder coming in. Sort of young Scottish guy, a lot of energy. Like look at him, and I think there's been a lot of talk about Ferry as well. He looks decent as well. And when he played against us last season, I thought he looked a menace. He looked a pain and a bit of a thorn in our side. So he looked decent as well. And I'd love to see us go back for Massawinisi. But I don't think Motherwell want to play dice with us after the way we acted with Askew apparently.
Yeah, that's the issue for me. It's like Massawinisi. We definitely need another winger, and he'd be the guy internally in the league I'd go for. But yeah, Motherwell don't want anything to do with us. They don't need our money as well. If we're being completely honest, they don't need our cash. They've just made bank selling, Just and Watt, and then they're putting a bunch of that money into building a new training facility, a new youth academy, like more pitches and more facilities for that. And yeah, they're doing things that a well-operated club should be doing within Scottish football. It's the sort of thing we should be doing, and they're doing it. So yeah, is anyone you're keeping an eye on, Shane?
Oh, well, probably no surprise, keeping it a bit of an Australian theme. We've got Dundee United and Motherwell in particular, who have quite a number of Australian players playing there. But of note in particular is Josh Rawlins, former Victory Old Boy, who's now playing at Dundee United to join LA Rose and Sapsford as well. I'm keen to see how he gets on because it's a good step up for him. I think it's a good club for him to go to. It's we've seen a number of Australian players come from the A-League straight to the Scottish Premiership over the past few seasons. He's the latest of those, and I think he'll do well. So I'm really keeping tabs on him and a few others, the Aussie boys.
Rawlins a bit of a hard bastard too. Like, let's be honest, he doesn't mind kicking some people. He doesn't mind getting kicked, and he just work rate all day. So he'll be a good signing for them.
Yeah, agreed. I've got to say, just while you're talking about the A-League, Motherwell I watched him in his first season. He's a complete myth. I think he's a shocking keeper. His old what's his name now? Oh, his name escapes me. The guy was at Auckland FC. He's just gone to Motherwell on loan.
Olawayemi?
No, goalkeeper. Oh man, it's only 10 o'clock and I'm half asleep. Anyway, so yeah, he was like, the only time you ever saw him was when he was celebrating or trying to get involved. One of these kind of lead character syndrome guys. So it's going to be fun and games for Motherwell. I'm going to find his name out right now.
I'll race you. I'll see if I can get to it first.
Oh man, I can't find.
Paulson,
Alex Paulson. There you go. It's like I've just been talking about him. I'm just having a senior moment. Yeah, Alex Paulson. So yeah, but apparently Jonathan Gould was raving about him when he was at Auckland FC. So I don't want to upset the big man. We're supposed to be interviewing him at some point. He said he would give us an interview. So I don't want to upset him too much. He really highly rated Alex Paulson, but shocking. I see him week in week out, and he was shocking. So be interesting to see how he adapts to Scottish football.
The thing is, like, I thought he'd end up at Hibs because of the ownership setup that they've got going on. But yeah, to him go to Motherwell, it's actually I don't know. I thought what they were, Jonathan Gould's kind of onto something. Like, I saw some traits in him that I thought were decent, but if you pressed him,
he's honestly
just a bomb scare. He let Bain look competent.
He was at Gdansk last season, and he let in about 40 odd goals in not in as many games. No, I think it was maybe 27 games or something. He let in 40 odd goals. It was something ridiculous like that. And they got relegated. So I'm not saying it's all his fault, but it's probably his fault.
Before we get on that, some in the comments here, we've got David Boyle coming through here. Thanks for sending this through. I just jumped on it. We've got the Austrian champions Lask in the Champions League playoff round. So I don't know much about them. David's saying it'll be a tough draw. I don't know if you guys know anything about them, or should I just do a little sneaky Google while we talk about some other stuff?
Has that just come through, has it?
Draws just happened, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm not super familiar with the club.
Yeah, so, that draw was 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Breaking news here.
We never have that very often. So, yeah, we've got Austrian Bundesliga. They won it for the second time ever. Yeah, be interesting. They won the cup as well, so they did a double similar to what we did. First leg will be at home on the 18th and 19th of August, so in a couple of weeks. And the return on the 25th, 26th. So, yeah, basically, we've got to get some bloody players in, which ties in perfect to my segue here.
The thing is, though, mate, it's all good and well as going and getting some players in now. We should have had them in weeks ago to bed them in to give us the best chance of getting through this qualifier. Even if we go and sign 4 players, they're still going to be new to their teammates. You're still playing with fire. It's just
And
not good enough. It's
and
not good enough, man.
I agree with you, mate. I'm just going to say this just for a laugh, though. No shit, Sherlock. We
Yeah.
should have friggin' signed these guys like a month ago. We should have identified players we want, had a list, and gone, these are the positions we need to strengthen, get it done. But
You
do we
see,
work like that? No.
I can't believe some people are praising the board for signing Who and Duran. Like, I said it on the group chat the other week. It's like, like someone at work that's really shit and never does their job, and then once in a blue moon, they'll do what they should be doing, and people pat them on the back. It's like, no, they should be doing this all the time. You know what I mean? It's like they signed 2 players on the duress thing because Martin O'Neill's kind of put some veiled threats their way. I can't wait till they go.
I haven't seen a lot of people praise the board. I have seen, and I've partaken personally in sort of being glad that we've brought Casper Hu and Duran along, and I think they're going to be quality players. But I haven't seen a lot of praising of the board. I think it's more of a we're glad it's happened, we're glad we've got these players, but it's more of a this should be, of course, the beginning. This shouldn't be the end. And so, yeah, I maybe I just don't move in the same circles, but I haven't seen anything that I'd consider of a praise.
Yeah, I've had a lot of stuff. Seen quite a bit online. Clyde Super Scoreboard. There's obviously the happy clappers on that as well. But these Duran and Who should have been the cherry on the top, and we should have signed about 5 or 6 players before them.
Should be gobbling up anyone in Scottish football that's got talent. I said the other day to Quinny in the Axom chat that, for me, certain leagues with a certain physicality are things that we should be all over when it comes to scouting. We should have a permanent scout in the Balkans. We should have a permanent one in Scandinavia. We should have a permanent scout down here in Australia because those players cross over into Scottish football, and it's a step up from those leagues into Scotland.
Yeah.
And it's a step up from there into England, Germany, France, Spain, wherever you want to go after that. So we should be looking at those markets and be all over them and have a permanent scouting setup and go from there. But I hope you don't mind me doing this, Ian. I'm going to read out a comment from a certain chat by someone who's on this pod by the name of Ian, summing up his feelings, right? Because I actually screenshot this one when you said it, Ian, because I agree with it 100%.
Okay.
About the board. They could sign 4 £10 million plus players and unveil plans to invest in the stadium, and I still want them gone. Charlatans, liars, myopic chances, happy to coast at our club's expense. And then there's another thing later on where we're talking. You've also mentioned we should have the best CEO in Scotland. We should have the best head of academy. We should, and you've mentioned Richard Hughes at Liverpool, big Celtic fan. That's what we should be doing, and he'd at least put a plan in place for us. So
they won't do it though, mate, because you have to devolve power. They're clinging on to power because they're not very good at what they do. They're absolute charlatans. They'll never get a job. Do you think any other club would headhunt these guys? Never among the Sundays. So they're clinging on. The reason they don't surround themselves with good people who are good at their jobs, who could actually add value and make Celtic better, is because they want that power. They need to make themselves be as invaluable, as important as they can to justify these salaries that they don't justify.
100%. And I'm gonna go a little political here, and I normally stay away from it. Our board are those flogs down at Westminster, not wanting to devolve power to certain countries or allow countries to do their thing. We want freedom. We want our club back. There you go. So we'll get some comments. We'll go through some more comments, and then we'll go from there. Peg Legs in the comments here. Good to see you, mate. Hail. David saying, Ian, 100% the only thing that has changed is Martin O'Neill expects a better standard of player. The board is still slow and unprepared. Simon saying the board are really pish. And yeah, we'll just go through it here. Back to ones in the league. Mulligan and Longello from SPFL and Braga from Hearts. No brainers. Yeah, I forgot about Braga. And then Simon is saying Motherwell's board are out punching us. Pound for pound, obviously. Yeah. So, Andrew Gallet saying, good evening all. What have I missed? Who have we sold now? We haven't sold anyone just yet, Andrew. Okay? We're just cracking the shits at the board as usual.
We're waiting till 2 days before the qualifier to sell any chance that we've got getting through.
That's when we'll suddenly bank £45 million for Engels and what's it called? 45 million combined for Engels and for Johnston, and suddenly be like, oh, who's going to play right back? Tony Ralston. Slip one up.
Just in case you were wondering, Andrew, we haven't signed anybody either.
And that's the funny thing, because there have been rumours floating around for the last 3 or 4 days that apparently Celtic are going to be announcing 2 signings today. So, is that the day we sign Mika Bauer, Faraz Gadyemis, or Hasim Hassan? Apparently, the rumours are 2 out of those 3. I will believe it when they've got a scarf above their head. Parade of Paradise.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same. It was the same with who, absolutely refused to believe it until he was signed. I was shocked and stunned, but I think they'll probably see that as they've done enough now. It's the bean counter. I really think the CEO. I said the other week, it's like that movie Weekend at Bernie's, where that is basically Michael Nicholson. I'm sure he's posthumous, and they're just carrying him around, like he's waving his arm and stuff, like as if he's actually kicking about. I think the guy that's pulling the strings day to day is Mackay, the bean counter, and that's why we act the way we act. I can't imagine that the chief exec has all that much to say on the matter. I think he just kind of is a bit of an empty vessel and just goes along with stuff.
Does Michael Nicholson even have vocal cords? That's something we need to find out. We need his medical records.
He seems like a really nice guy, I'm not. It's nothing personal. I'm not trying to. I'm just angry about the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they make our club look to the rest of the footballing world. I bet their salaries don't go down. But they're trying to cut money off the yearly outgoings. In the ways that the product in the park is how the club expresses itself, how the club presents itself to the world. How you attract better players. How you improve your standing. It's the product in the park. And obviously the fans as well. But we're just a poor imitation of ourselves.
I think just to pick up on Ian's point a little bit there, and it's something we probably haven't unpacked an awful lot of, or not to the same degree as how we feel as fans, is more how these sort of awful kind of business dealings and lack of impetus actually represent the club to the wider world in terms of actually, as you said, Ian, attracting players, but also player agents, players themselves, other clubs, the way we do business. We're putting a black mark against our own name, so that when we do actually want to do business, if things change in future, or if things don't change, some clubs won't want to actually deal with us because they know we're going to underbid repeatedly, and then we're not going to meet them halfway. And some players won't even bother wanting to show interest in joining Celtic because they know the experience in terms of actually getting there through the transfer process will be very difficult. So it's something that not only as we as fans are frustrated by, and we're all dismayed about what's happening, but it's also leading the club to be reflected really poorly on the world stage when it comes to going and getting players and getting players across and doing deals with other clubs.
Would agree with that, Shane. And the worst part is the damage we're doing with our reputation to other clubs too. Year on year on year, transfer window and transfer window. It's going to make it harder again. Because we're going to be the most unserious professional football club that I know of outside of Manchester United. There you go. Shots fired.
Clip.
Yeah, so I'll just get another couple of comments. Andrew Galea, 17 Aussies in the SPFL. That's what I mean by it's a perfect gateway league if guys from over here or whatever want to get into Europe.
Well, you were talking about the scouts before, and Celtic obviously having a scout, or should have a scout down here. Well, clearly other SPFL clubs have beat us to the punch there, because we've got, as Andrew said, 17 Aussies in there. We've got, I think, 4 at Motherwell, 3 at Dundee United. Get it done.
And a couple of Kiwis too. So
just went to Swansea. That was another one open goal we should have gone for.
I like the look of Watt as well, but Polo Levu, love from Celts fan in Fiji. Binaka, mate, for tuning in. Appreciate it. I love Fiji. It's my favourite holiday joint. And using can eat a dick, mate. I love that. That great way to finish that comment. Legend. Thanks for tuning in. My one of my favourite holiday destinations, Fiji. Gotta love the place. So
Never been.
get over there and you'll love it. Just don't drink their Fiji bitter beer. It is, yeah, pretty bad.
But not Carver.
No, that stuff's great. That's some good stuff. Anyway, back to the football. So, yeah, we've got our first game of the season. I didn't update any of my notes on who we're playing because I'm an absolute nuffy.
We've got Dundee.
Yeah, I knew that. No, I was just about to read what I wrote here. I wrote, next game is against the Huns. No, it's not. I didn't update it before jumping on here. Obviously didn't save it. So, yeah, we've got Dundee. I'm going to go on a little tangent before we actually get into the game. Dundee, you got to give them credit where it's due. Their kits the last couple of seasons have been I know, Shane, you're a bit of a football kit aficionado and everything. I think their outfits, their kits have been wearing the last couple of seasons, home and away, have been some of the classiest in the league. Going on 2-3 years. So I just want to give them credit on that because that's all the credit they'll get from me. The other thing is, while I'm on that tangent, Reebok back in football, amazing. More of that, the better. But anyway, going into the game, it's our first game of the season. So it's going to be tough to figure out who's going to start, and who's going to, and what are the main talking points. So I think for me, the main point going into this game is what sort of formation are we going to play and what style of football are we going to put out on the pitch? Are we going to go that horseshoe got no clue thing? Once you can't score on one wing, you just horseshoe it and just bore us all to death, and we're going to have another season of 4:30 a.m. kickoffs like tomorrow or tonight's game for as in Scotland tomorrow morning for us. We wake up early and you're not head wobbling like 10 minutes in. Or we're going to get some aggressive Route 1, a bit more Martin-style football. What are you expecting to see there, Ian?
Well, when Martin first came in, you know, he kind of obviously picked the team up and he was really going direct after we had the pain of Brendan's horseshoe that was dying. You know, it was on sort of the dying embers of the Brendan regime. So he kind of picked the team up, and you know, it was nice to see the fact that we were so getting the ball forward quickly and was effective. And obviously then Nancy came in, and obviously it was what you know what happened with Nancy. And then when Martin came back in again, it seemed to regress. It wasn't as direct, and that was when you started to see this horseshoe. So knocking it around the back like we did with Brendan, but it was the worst of both worlds. It was always the crap bit of knocking around the back, but at least with Brendan there was a purpose, you know, and the purpose was to get forward, and it was fluid. You know, when it worked, it was good. But with and it's Maloney ball. I would say it's Sean Maloney. I don't think it's Martin O'Neill's tactics. I think it's maybe Maloney and Fotheringham. So the horseshoe and then no clue. So as soon as it goes into midfield, there's absolutely no plan. Lose possession, fight for it back, you know, rough and tumble, and it goes back into defence, and we do the horseshoe of death again, and then knock it in the midfield, lose it, you know, and repeat, and it was just turgid to watch.
What are you thinking we're going to get, Shane?
Well, just before I get on to that, I agree with you in regards to the kits for Dundee. Completely back you up on that. I think, not to tie it back into our lack of transfer activity, I think the fact that we've made very little change to our squad in terms of actually incoming players means that we're probably going to see a little bit of a repeat of what we saw in the back end of last season, just because the players are so familiar with it that are currently there. I'm not convinced we're going to deviate away from that just yet. I would ideally love to see both Duran and Hu together up top, but Casper hasn't played yet, so I just can't see him and he did come in midway through. I think the league was ongoing, unless I'm mistaken. So he is technically match fit, but does he come straight in immediately? I don't know. I don't see it unfolding that way. I think we see probably what we saw towards the back end of last season, which is hopefully not as onerous and as frustrating to watch, but more of that horseshoe with the 4-3-3 with the wide wingers and so forth.
Yeah, I'm looking at it going. I'm hoping it's not the horseshoe of death. I want that more direct football because if we do that, that suits the players we've got more up front on the pitch. Whether it's Duran, whether it's Osmond. And then with the wingers we've got, you can get the ball over the top to Yang. You can get it over to Forrest. Scraping the barrel in terms of wingers. So it's going to be a bit, like I'd like that bit more directness rather than this muck around with it. But the thing is, like, we don't have the midfield still, in my opinion. If we've got the same lineup in the middle of the park, like we've still got Rio's still at the club.
See, if anyone was going to get a tune out of Rio, you think it'd be Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Same with Bernardo.
Yeah, exactly. So it must be an attitude problem. I don't know what it is, but there's
Yeah.
talent there.
So I'm just looking at the middle of the park. Like, this is the issue at the moment on how we're going to play. Defence, I'm okay with. Okay, if rumour has it that we've already approached Bournemouth about Araujo to come in for if AJ gets sold. So if that's the case, I love a few Mavericks at our club. So we could already be looking at going, all right, AJ out, Araujo in on a permanent, done. And I wouldn't see much of a drop-off, right? So defence I'm okay with. Up front, I think we're one man short.
Yeah.
Up front, whether that's a winger or whether that's a striker and we're going to like a 3-5-2, I'm not sure either way, but I think we're one body short because we've still got to factor Jota in coming in like October. Apparently he's back on grass training. So we're okay up there, if that's the case. We're one short up front, but the middle of the park's the issue. And I don't know how we can actually figure out what our style of play is going to be and what our game plan is going to be until we actually know what players we've got. Andrew, a loan again from Bournemouth, now to actually purchase him. That's what I've heard. Around that £9 to £10 million.
Get it done.
Just pay the money. If we're going to get 14 for Johnson or 15 for Johnson, just pay the 9. Don't haggle.
Did you hear the Juranovic rumours as well?
Yeah. Back to the well of recycling again.
But see, I wouldn't mind that if it was someone
Yeah.
like Juranovic because he was a class player. But
Yeah.
I think with Greg Taylor, I think he'd be better for the dressing room than on the pitch. I think he's a good guy, but I just think you aspire to have better. But then in fact, we just re-signed Ralston, so Greg Taylor's a lot better than Ralston, but we should be moving forward with better class.
I'm not enamoured by the Greg Taylor rumours, I've got to be honest with you. As good as he was for the club and as serviceable he was, it definitely isn't something that really excites me. But it is probably the one position on the pitch that we are genuinely stuck if our starting, left back KT gets injured. Like, we are either, promoting a youth player or we're playing someone out of position. So I agree. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got an idea on that, Shane, and this could be the reinvention of his career at Celtic. Who was playing in left back in Japan before he come to the club?
Rio.
There you go.
Didn't Martin play him at left or right back against Dundee United last season? And
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
You played at right back one game last season.
It didn't go so well. But look, look right now. It's who else are you putting there? If KT can't front up or has to get subbed off, who are you putting there?
Liam Scales.
As far as I'm aware, he's not playing against Dundee. I'm pretty sure
He's suspended for 2 games.
Yeah, so you're kind of moving Ralston across. It's the most pressing position, immediately direct position I think that we have. But I agree, the midfield is the area that needs the most work, and that's before. And we're talking before we essentially lose Engels. The midfield is a problem even before we lose potentially, arguably, our best player in the squad. Right? It's not good.
Did you hear why the Sriracha deal fell through?
Why?
No.
Because of third-party ownership.
All right.
That's what it was. So apparently, Boca were valuing him at, the £1 million or whatever it was, but they own 60%. But we can't have third-party ownership, so we have to pay out the investment mob who own the other 40%, and that's where it was getting held up. That's why his deal at Houston fell through as well. So he'd be perfect to bring in because there was opportunity. Osasuna came in wanting to get KT back down to Spain.
Yeah.
So we've got to sort some shit out. But yeah, the defense is the one real issue. It's like if AJ goes, we bring someone in, someone to back up Tierney is the main issue. But the middle of the park, like as I was saying before, you've got Rio, Bernardo, Engels. All three of them wanting to leave the club. Still here. We haven't brought anyone in.
Yeah.
A lot of work needs to be done in that middle section. So yeah, till then we don't know what formation or what sort of setup we're going to play. But other than that, Shane, what's your general thoughts heading into the game, and what are you expecting your starting lineup to be?
Well, I'm curious to see how things are in the stands because this feeling that I think we've all felt and discussed on the pod, I don't think has died down as maybe those who run the club would have thought or hoped naively, which is a good thing because it's important we voice our opinion and show how we feel exactly about how things are being run. So I'm curious to see whether the stands are full. I'm curious to see the general reaction from the crowd on what's been another disappointing transfer window up until this point. Look, I'm relatively confident. I think we've got what we need to beat Dundee, of course. No disrespect to them. I'm also curious just on the crowd front, just before I move on from that, just because it's a Monday night kickoff as well, which unfortunately really does impact the ability for a lot of travelling fans to get across for Flag Day, particularly from Ireland, which is really frustrating and disappointing for them. So, look, I think we'll get the job done. I think we'll avoid the banana skin that a couple of our potential title rivals have experienced over the weekend. This is just going to be a microcosm of what's to come, really. There's much bigger fish to fry, and we're going to need a squad that can actually do that, and right now we're nowhere near it.
Yep. What do you think, Ian?
Like I said before, we're putting ourselves up against it again by, we know that there's players that are unhappy and probably want to leave. So, you're in that position where you might have to play players who aren't completely their minds on the job. And it's like there's players that might come in, but they need to assimilate, so, that's when the season's already started. They've missed the pre-season. It's we're just shooting ourselves in the foot every season. Every season we do the same thing, and it's like Martin O'Neill was let down badly in January. He's come back in now and they're doing the same thing again. We've signed 2 players, fair enough. They couldn't have got much worse, but
14 are going the other way.
It's crazy. I honestly, it's like I'm sick of talking about it. It's like it just doesn't surprise me. It's just we're not setting ourselves up for the best possible chance of winning. I think the reason that we kind of seem to be getting by is that we're better than our rivals, marginally.
Yep. So I'm just having a look at something at our squad at the moment, right? So I'm just going into that because I just want to. We've always had the talk of, and Brendan said it a few times and stuff like that, but it should be the first team has 25, 26 players. That's what he always said. And then you pad out the rest with your B team players. But yeah, I'm just looking at it now going, we have 2 goalkeepers. So we've got Sinosalo and Doohan. So we're a man short there. 1, 2, 3. We've got 9 defenders and one of them is Adam Montgomery. Middle of the park, we've got 1, 2. We've got 7 of them and 3 of them went away. And then up front, we've got 1. Well, they gave Casperho number 9. Okay. Ooh, I didn't see that. There you go. And then we've got 9 up front. But 2 of them are empty jerseys in Tenecti and Balakwisha. So realistically, if you add that up, you've got 9, 7, and 7 is 23 players plus 2 goalkeepers is 25. So the squad numbers, the club's got it down to what they said they wanted, but we're clearly light. So I don't know what these bean counters are working at. Get players in, and then you can always sell others off or loan others out later. Like apparently Martin's top said told people he just wants both Denekti and Balikwisha out, sold this summer, either sold or out on loan. So I think it's like, yeah, the more things change, the more things stay the same with our club. Let's bring up some comments here. So Snick 989 is saying announce a winger and send a mid today and it'll be full. Peg League saying 14 players out, 2 in. Seriously, with 40 million Champions League qualifier coming up and what 80 million in the bank too. Today's game will be sold out. Dermot saying I think we'll play a 4-3-3 with Duran on the left, Yang on the right. So it's going to be interesting one. Andrew saying you'd think Hatate and Bernardo would want away. Engels and AJ won't want to risk injury. It's an issue. I think the biggest thing with Hatate and Bernardo is probably the only reason they're still at the club, and this is something I just thought of, would be because they're on better wages here than at any other club that has come up with an offer for them so far. Otherwise, I would have bit the hand off for it. So, back to the game. I'm thinking starting lineup will be Sinisalo in goals. We'll play Donovan on the right. Left will be KT. Middle of the park will be CCV and I don't know, is Trusty back yet?
I'm not sure.
If he's back, bring him straight in. If not, CCV and Dane Murray at the back. Middle of the park will be Kelmac. Will be Engels probably and Nigren. And then you'll go up front. Duran and Forrest. What do you think, Shane?
Similar. I'm just not convinced we're going to see both Hu and Duran at least start. So it'd be interesting. I'm not too sure who comes in, but I'm just a little bit skeptical of Hu and Duran starting. Duran definitely. I think Hu is probably the one that comes off the bench for now. Maybe Tenetki instead. But yeah. Well, we're gonna end up playing some players that want away, right? We don't have the depth. We're probably going to have 3 or 4 players that front up in the early hours of our morning tomorrow, later tonight, of course, for those tuning in over in Scotland, who are going to genuinely want away and might not be here come the next weekend, right? So
I just laughed because it's like, fuck Tenekti. Jeez. Get the Yang Gang representing, please. Anyone. Anyway. Ian, what do you think the starting lineup will be?
Right, I think Sinisalo in goal. Will AJ play if he's potentially? I've just heard that he's Fulham and Everton. He's pretty close to sort of agreeing terms with both of those two. So that might mean our good mate the Bricky fills in dutifully. So I would obviously like AJ, but it could be the Bricky. Centre half, I think it'll be CCV and Donovan. And not Kobe Donovan, sorry. Who am I thinking of?
Murray.
Is it Dane Murray? Yeah, Dane Murray.
A Great Dane.
Yeah, Dane Murray. And obviously KT at left back. I think it'll be Carmack as a pivot with Engels, and I think you're probably right. I think he'll pretty well play Nigren. But I'm not sure if I think Nigren's probably more effective off the bench personally, but I think he'll start with him. Then I think he'll go with Yang, Duran and Hu. If it's a 4-3-3.
Yep, 100%. Snick, I agree with this comment here. AJ won't play, will be put forward as a sports science team felt he couldn't be risked or something to that effect. And Andrew saying, get up early, you blokes. I'll be up, mate. Don't worry about that. I'm up at 5 every day anyway, so what's an extra half an hour? Happy days. So, score predictions, I think we'll still win 3-1. I think it'll be 1-1 with about 20 minutes to go, and then we're going to get 2 goals banged in by our new boys. One by Hu, one by Duran, and that'll blow it out a bit. What do you think, Shane?
2-1. I think Duran scores, and just for shits and giggles, Nigren will score the winner.
Oh, God. And Ian?
Well, I've kind of got a feeling for 2-1, so that probably means we'll draw 2-2. So I was going to say 2-1 as well, Shane. I like Duran. It's like, I don't know if anyone saw the Portugal against Colombia game in the World Cup. The Colombian players were amazing. It was the best 0-0 I've ever seen in my life. So it's like, we need to sign more Colombian players. They look amazing. Like everything you want in a footballer still, just street footballers. So hopefully he's got a couple of mates, Duran, but I really like the look of him. So yeah, I can see him maybe scoring as well. I think he could be a new love of our life.
They tend to be mad as cut snakes too, the Colombian guys, let's be honest.
Maddest kind of snakes.
But-
That's like Alf Roberts has said. If Alf Roberts said that, from Home and Away, you can imagine him saying that.
Yeah. You got to look at it.
Truth.
Oh, flaming
black.
dingo, Stroop, mate.
Flaming la.
Flaming galah. Well, yeah, anyway.
We've made such an indelible impact on the world with our culture, with home and away.
Did you not know, right? I did a summer job, right, in the Child Benefit Centre in the UK, right, and it was all like, it was all done in alphabetical order, and then it was regional, and there was in Essex, right, there was loads of kids that were born in 1988, and their middle names are like Scott, Charlene, Kylie, and Nathan. Honestly, no
Jason
joke.
and Kylie.
No
Yeah.
joke. No joke.
Oh, jeez. Gotta love it. Good old Australia, mate. There you go. Wow. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But everyone, I think it's time we get into the silly part of the off season. The last pod before our first game of the season, we always do our fearless predictions for the upcoming year. So, I've got a few ready to go for us. So, the first one, pretty straightforward. Who will win the league this season? What do you think? We'll go Ian. I'll ask the question. Ian first, Shane, then I'll go last.
We should win it, but I don't know. I think if Rangers make some more signings and McInnes gets his head sorted, I think Rangers will probably win it. I think we got away with one last season. We haven't heeded the warning so far. We're going to lose players, and if we don't replace them, we've got no right to win the league. So my heart says us, but at the moment my head says them.
Go on, Shane.
I'm similar to Ian. And it's rare to be in this position where you're sort of doubting it. My heart definitely says Celtic, and I don't want to see anything else, but we genuinely are threadbare when it comes to the squad, and we normally talk about the squad not being up to standard for European competition. It's very much a case of I'm not sure this squad currently can get through a league campaign. So, look, I'm going to say that we will have enough to get it done, but I say that with very little confidence compared to previous seasons gone by.
I look at Rangers, and when I look at them, man, and what you're saying, they're coached by a two-bit manager who's the biggest choke act in the league, and half their players are probably less appealing than a massive pile of jobby on the football field. So, for me, yeah, we'll win it, but it's not going to be an easy one. I think we'll win probably by 6-7 points, something like that. So it's not going to be a last day one, but yeah, we'll still win the league. Who will get relegated?
Dundee.
I'll go 2 because we're going to see a club lose in the playoff as well. So I'll say St Mirren will go down, and I reckon Keeley lose the playoff.
Fair enough. I'm just checking the team I was going to say is in the top flight, so bear with me 1 second. Bloody hell. I didn't mean to touch on Paul Tansey punching on with someone in the crowd. That's not what I wanted to search now.
Hey, imagine if Hearts went down.
That'll
Get a
be
Tony Bloom.
hilarious. Yep, so there we go. Even though they got a first weekend win, I'm saying that it's going to be St Johnson will go down or Falkirk, one of those two. So the next one we've got is who will be the leading scorer this season, Shane? Sorry, Ian, we'll go to you first. It's going to mix up a bit.
Duran.
Shane?
It's either Duran or who. I'm going to go Duran as well.
I'm going to just be different. Callum Osmond.
Hope you're right.
I hope I'm right, because that means we will be absolutely flying and he's getting lots of game time.
Well, hopefully we play two up top. It's crying out for it.
Who will get the most red cards this season? Team and player. I've got my one ready to go. But over to you, Ian.
Are you thinking Cammy Devlin?
Absolutely, that's who I'm thinking. If I wasn't, do I know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Him. Yeah. Him and them.
See, I'm sceptical though, because he's playing in blue. I'm not sure. If he was playing in any other colour, I'd say absolutely. But I'm not convinced that they're going to stump up the necessary red cards for him. So I'm going to keep it on a little bit of an Aussie tangent, considering you talked about him being a hard bastard earlier, and go Josh Rawlins.
Mix it up a bit then, because Ian said who I was thinking, and you made a good point about him being in blue. I'm going to go with, is Gogic still at St Mirren?
Yeah.
There you go. Done. And the team with the most red cards will go to, let's go Hearts. Here we get into the good stuff now. Who will be the first team to sack their manager this season?
Aberdeen.
Rangers.
Mine is going to be Hearts. Their new bloke looks absolutely atrocious. I know a couple of weeks back I said something different, but I've changed my tune. I haven't seen them play a couple more times. And in what month will Rangers sack their manager?
Not only October, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about usually October, November. My wife was saying before she thinks they'll keep him around till the Christmas derby when we beat them in that. So we beat them in both derbies before Christmas, and then they'll just be like, "Yep, see you later." That's what she was saying before. That's my wife's fearless prediction. Everyone.
I'm trying to remember when Martin got sacked last year. Russell Martin got sacked. I think that was about November, wasn't it? November, December?
October, I think.
Oh, really? Jeez, was that early? I'll go. I think he'll last till November. The staunchness will get him through, but I can't see him doing well enough to last. So I'll say November.
I'll go one different here. I think he will survive until the derby before the split, and then at that point they'll be like 20 points behind us and a surprise packet in second that is yet to be determined. And then they'll be like, "Oh fuck, see you later." He'll be out on his ass then.
See, I think the crux of it will be the first derby. I'm assuming we beat Dundee, because they dropped points. We could well drop points as well. But I think with the first Glasgow derby, if we slap them about a bit, the wheels will completely come off. We'll lose the plot. But if they beat us, it'll just energise them. I think we'll have enough in our locker to see them through the season. But if they beat us in the first game, he's walking in with the swagger, believing his own hype. That's what he looks like at the moment. It looks like he's believing his own myth that he acquired at Hearts. The people's champion. More.
I think he'll crumble under the weight of expectation. This is really the first club he's gone to where there is a level of expectation now. You think of what he did at Aberdeen and what he did at Hearts, right? Which was, obviously, Hearts were challenging for the league, Aberdeen to a degree, obviously more in the cup finals than anything else. But there was a real gap. There wasn't an expectation there. It sort of just unfolded that way. He's at a club where and we obviously see them as not necessarily being a threat all the time because of how poor they've been over recent seasons. But there is a level of expectations there that a lot of managers crumble under, and I think it will happen to him as well. Now, he's getting by on a lot of goodwill at the moment with the Brown Brogues and all that absolute crap. But eventually, when the results don't unfold the way they're expecting, they turn really hard, and I don't think he'll cope with that at all.
I look at it with him in terms of all he has to do is take Rangers from third to his usual position of second, and he's actually improved them on last season. So if they're looking for it, thinking, oh, it's still an improvement, it's a step in the right direction, all they have to do is not come third for the 6th time in the league in their existence. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, I think he'll get to around the just before the split. Now, I said the team that'll come in second. Who's going to be this season's Hearts, the surprise packet that steps up and is like nipping at the heels or in the mix?
If anyone, for me, Motherwell.
Yeah, I agree with Ian. I'm really excited by what I've seen with Motherwell. I think the new gaffer they've got in looks really good as well. They look like they've got a system in place, kind of like that system of, okay, we've lost our main man, he's gone on, but we'll get someone else new in and we'll continue. We'll continue to build from what we've started instead of ripping it down and starting afresh again. So, yeah, I think Motherwell, and I think they could easily finish second, and they will probably challenge. They could potentially challenge for the title if we're not up to scratch.
Motherwell clearly have a defined system, and yeah, someone in a chat I was in was saying that they know someone at their youth academy and their players are playing the same format in terms of goalkeeper plays out from the back, and they do all this from like under 14s up the whole way through because that's how they play in the first team. So they've got a system, they recruit for that system, they know what they're doing, and yeah, Motherwell was who I was going to pick. The other one I was going to throw in there is Andrew's thrown it out there as well in the comments here. It was Dundee United. I think they'll surprise a few people this season.
They've been building.
Slobber and Cabbage is coming through with a good comment here. I think Derek McGinnis will have a full-blown Hunsplosion before Christmas. We cut it out of Ibrox in a straight jacket, a Hannibal Lecter mask, and on a sack barrow. Yeah, so, yeah, there's those two there. The next one I've got is who will be the player of the season and who will be the signing of the season. And it doesn't have to be at Celtic. It can be across the league.
I don't know enough about the other teams, really.
I'll say it, then I'll jump in. Josh Rawlins will be signing of the season at Dundee United if they go on and make that run and be second.
I'm tempted to say my man LA Rose just because I love his name.
La Rose.
LA Rose. I'd say you got to just brief tangent. You have to have a bit of swagger to go around with LA Rose on the back of your kit. I'm just saying, I love it. He's got that swagger.
Wasn't there another Rose that he played with at MacArthur? So, was that his name? Josh or something.
Yeah, Josh Rose. Yeah.
So he could have had L Rose, J Rose, but he went LA.
LA Rose. Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
I actually think Duran could be genuinely the player and signing of the season. I agree with Ian. I don't know probably an awful lot about the other clubs to a degree where I'd feel super comfortable on commenting on their signings of the season and so forth. But I think Duran, from what I've seen, is just going to be a whirlwind of a player, and he could easily be the player of the season and our signing of the season.
Next one is who will be Celtic's most improved player this season. So think of your the way I look at this one is Ange's first season, what the Bricky did. Who's going to be that player for us this year?
Maybe Murray.
I think just because of the fact we're probably not going to sign a replacement, Colby Donovan, because he's going to get exposed at right back a fair bit.
It was both my two I was going to go with, so there you go.
You know what? As someone who I think you made mention of before as our leading scorer, who we didn't see enough of, that if he gets a lot of game time, I think we could probably class as an improved operator as Callum Osmond as well. There
we go. Ticked all three. Yahtzee, done, whatever. Get on with it.
The thing with Callum Osmond is kind of at this precipice now whereby he could be the all-time cult hero and like ended up doing like a Tony Watt and just disappearing, but he'll be indelibly in our history books because of that goal, or he could springboard him into great things and he could have a few good seasons with us and then go off into bigger and better things. He's at that precipice now, I think.
I really want it to be Balikwisha, let's be honest.
It's an actually just a shit, Ian.
When I made that joke about I hope he's not George Weah's cousin, right? I was fucking right, honestly. You know that story about Ali
Ali Dia, yeah.
Yeah, Graham Souness getting absolutely fooled. Hilarious.
Marquishes pulled the same stunt.
It's one of my favourite football stories, I reckon, and I agree with you. I'm very sceptical at this point as to who got him involved, who got him to Celtic, and who saw what footage.
No. The even funnier thing is, whoever his agent is, that's who. If I was a professional footballer, that's who I'd want to represent me. Because if he can somehow manufacture this sort of move, then he'll get me paid no matter where.
Does he represent Ollie Burke as well?
Oh. Or what's that other the staunch fucker from Rangers fan, Ollie McBurney, he's one too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
That guy's he is hopeless. He's like a Timu Peter Crouch.
He is a terrible footballer.
Yep. So, which individual or media outlet will be the first to get banned from Ibrox this season? We always have to throw it in there. I'm going to go Chris Sutton. If he's not already.
He's pals with Chris Boyd now, isn't he? So it's well, I don't know actually. Don't know.
Jump in, Shane, give him some thinking time.
No, I think Suddy too. I reckon Suddy, because Suddy, he doesn't pull any punches, and McGuinness is going to say something. Sutton's going to call him out on it, and they'll crack the sads.
There we go. So, how will Celtic perform in Europe this season? We've just seen early on in the pod when we were live that we've got Lask from Austria, they're champions in our qualifier. So, how will Celtic perform in Europe? Initially, will we qualify for the Champions League or will we end up in the Europa League? What do you reckon there, boys? And then how will we perform once we get to the group stages?
As it stands at the moment, I think we've got every chance to get knocked out. This team will be no mugs if they're champions of their own league and cup winners. I can feel a sucker punch coming. We've undercooked it yet again. And we might have the two best strikers in the league by a distance, but two strikers don't make a team, and you know what I mean. It's there's a lot riding on it. Honestly, I hope with all the very fabric of my being, that we go through, but we're dicing with danger again.
Yeah, I agree with Ian. We're playing the champions of Austria's Bundesliga, right? They're no mugs, as he said, and it's a league that has some tough teams in them that are obviously usually in and about European mark, including the Champions League. We don't have a squad ready, in my opinion. Most certainly not a squad to go toe to toe with them, but we don't have the depth of squad we need right now to, I think, get through this playoff. Similarly, I hope we get through. I really want us to see in the Champions League. I don't want to see us anywhere other than the Champions League, but it's hard to see it unfolding. So I'd say we'll probably lose the playoff and drop down into the second tier.
The thing for me is, and what I think is going to be the factor on how we go with the qualification on it, is you don't want to keep players who want to move until after you don't want to keep unhappy players, but you don't want to sell players and not adequately replace them with time to bet in before the qualifiers. We've caused this issue ourselves by not being proactive and getting the players in early. So realistically, I want AJ to stay for these. I want Engels to stay, and let's get through, right? And then we can sell them and then bring some more players in. That way, if we lose a couple of bucks here and there on their transfers, you can live with that because you've just made 40 million. And then you can invest and get some players in and strengthen. The issue for me is, as I said, defensively, yeah, we're okay. We need to get a right back to replace AJ if he's off. We need to get another backup left back for KT. We brought in two Champions League level guys who scored like 12 goals or something like that in Europe last season through qualifiers and the actual Champions League. So we've got the guys up front who can put the ball in the net. The issue is the midfield, as I said. We've got to sort that mess out because at the moment, I'm a 50-50 on how this is going to work. If we get away from the first leg at home, 2-3 goals to the good, then I think we'll be in the Champions League. If we come out of there with a draw or just a 1-0 win or whatever, then I think we'll probably end up in the Europa League. And if we get into the Europa League, then group stages, we'll get to the knockout stages again.
Well, I mean, I think Ian touched on this really perfectly before. The time to bring in and bed in the players that are going to get us through this tie and get us to actually perform well at the Champions League, the time to bring them in was a couple of weeks ago. Even if we do make these signings now, they've got 2 weeks to get up to speed, to get embedded in the squad, to become familiar with their teammates before they play a two-legged playoff to get into the Champions League. The time has passed for that. Yes, we need to bring them in desperately, but we should have done this ages ago.
The window's been open for 6 weeks. Maybe longer. I can't actually... When did it open? It started June, didn't it?
Yeah, but the problem is the players we're going for, they've got agents. And it's really hard to deal with agents.
He always said that straight-faced. Oh, wow. Yeah, so anyway, I think we've got 1 or 2 more for the thing here. Yep. How many Celtic players will make the SPFL team of the season? I'm going to go with 4. I don't know who they'll be, but I'm just saying 4.
Yep.
Ian?
I don't know, stabbing it up. 3.
I'll go 4 as well.
And you get one most random prediction for the upcoming season. You can make it as stupid as you want, something real, whatever, but just chuck a random prediction out there. Finish it off.
Derek McInnes will get sacked and he'll end up on Strictly Come Dancing.
At least his fake tan will come in handy on there.
I can't beat that. There's nothing I can think of to beat that. Oh dear. I think Chris Sutton takes up a manager's role somewhere. I think he leaves behind his media role and he takes up the role as a head coach somewhere. That's my most random prediction. I love Suddy, and I know he managed briefly in his career earlier, but I just feel like it would be completely left field for him to just go, no, I'm going to take over St Mirren or St Johnstone or something like that.
My random one is we are going to break even on the transfer fees when we sell both Tenecti and Balaguisha this off-season when they go to the Middle East.
That is random. That is random.
Not going to happen. The Huns have probably slipped me some Deludamol, let's be honest, but you can only wish. You don't ask, you don't get. That's the old saying, isn't it?
I think that we'll put the 2 of them out on loan, a la Palmer and Naroski. That's the only thing we can do to try and maybe... Isn't it funny though, like, we've all become like kind of like directors of the club, and everyone's we're worried about how much money we're going to get for players. I don't really give a damn how much. It's not. I'm not going to see it, and they're not going to spend it. So if we get $1 or 100 million, it doesn't really make a difference to my life. All I want to see is the club moving forward and going out and signing players. So that's for them to be judged on how much we get, how much we buy for, and how much we get.
The funny thing is, well, you got to look at it and go, all right, so if we paid $5 million for Balaguisha on a 5-year deal, on paper, he's only cost us $2 million.
Bargain.
So you can get rid. Oh, there we go. Get some comments on the screen here.
You read what I was reading.
Derek McInnes will get caught shag and Broxy Bear. Yavi Boy saying McWinless to enter the jungle, never seen again.
McWinless.
And Pegleg saying if Balaguisha goes to the Middle East, it will be to sign up for Trump's war. I would have hope he's ashamed to spit out his drink then.
No, I was very careful.
And the Slaver and Cabbage is saying random prediction for me is Derek McInnes is in a padded cell wearing nothing but a hospital gown with his bare bum out and constantly repeating in a manic voice, hello, 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 hello. Brilliant. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Hail, hail. And, here's to 3 points in tonight's game. Hail, hail.
How?
Yeah, help.